holy moly, this book is massive. There was one moment in here, oh my gosh, I was like getting really mad. I want to know about him, and you just literally know nothing. Here to kind of sort of shame myself because interesting and intriguing, but at the same time extremely confusing. Hi friends, welcome back to Belle's Library. I'm Heather if you're new here, and today we are going to do a reading vlog. So, I have decided recently that I really want to do more of these reading vlogs where I'm exploring some of my reading taste. I have so many different ideas of things that I might like, but I just need to find out a little bit more, and so I wanted to kind of take you guys along for the ride and create these different vlogs where we can look at maybe some books that I've already read in a certain category or genre or whatever it is we're checking out for the day, see if I've liked them in the past, and try out a few new books and see if I happen to come to a consensus or not on if it's something that I should pick up more. I'm aiming to hopefully be doing maybe 2 to 3 of these per month, maybe even like once a week I can try and do these. I guess it kind of depends on how busy and crazy life gets, but I definitely would love for you guys to subscribe so you can stick around and kind of join me on my journey, and I would love any, extra recommendations you guys think of. You're always more than welcome to throw them down below, or if you guys want me to give you guys some recommendations or I don't know, whatever. I'm happy to chat, and I really appreciate all of you guys for being here and watching, and yeah, I guess we're gonna stop me rambling. So first off, I'm gonna make a quick comment about the little background ambiance. I always put something on there, at least lately that's been kind of my setup. And I kind of did this like weird creepy one, and I'm hoping it's not too creepy for this video, so you guys will have to let me know what you think. There's like some of the books I chose a horror novel and then also a mystery book, so I thought maybe it would work for this vlog intro. Anyways, we're gonna run through, oh, I haven't even told you what this vlog is going to be doing. So we're going to be reading some books that have mixed media in them. When I say that, I mean that maybe they have like interviews thrown in there, or podcasts, or memos, or pictures, or in some way there's some other form of media woven in and worked into the book, and it's just like an added element into the book. And I think that it's something that I enjoy so far. So we're gonna look at a few books that I have read that have this element in it. And we're gonna look at a few books that I'm gonna be reading for this vlog. So, books that I have read that have mixed media elements in there. I think the most obvious one is probably Illuminate. It's basically all mixed media. There's no like novel piece to it. It is literally told in memos and interviews and just a whole bunch of different mixed media formats. And so I gave this one 5-star. Definitely loved this one. I also did a video where I read a few books that had podcast elements in it, and one of those was Sadie. So Sadie has mixed in here, there's little snippets of a different podcast, and it's like a true crime podcast kind of thing, and I adored this book, and this one I also gave 5 stars. And then I also read in that vlog The Night Swim, which has a podcast element to it, and again, kind of that true crime type of a style, and I really enjoyed that one. I gave that one 4 stars. My mom is borrowing that book at the moment, so I don't have it to show you guys, but I'll put a picture up. And if you guys want to watch that, I will put the link to it up top and down below, so you guys can check that vlog out as well. I feel like it was actually a pretty good one, so I don't know. Might be, a little jaded on that one. Another book that I read last summer was Amy and Roger's Epic Detour. This actually is a really fun summer read if you guys are looking for like a summer romance type read. But there's like pictures and receipts in here and just some different stuff. And basically they are taking a cross-country road trip, and so you're kind of seeing some of the sights along the way, and like here's a little flyer for Yosemite and just some fun stuff like that. I think I gave that one 4 stars. So far I've had 2 2 5 stars and 2 4 stars, so it's pretty good odds so far. Oh, and then we're going to move into this one. So Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I kind of added this one in here because there's these photos in here, and they kind of work themselves into the story, and they actually, it's kind of cool. Oh, I had a bookmark in there. The author actually found all these old photographs, and then she kind of like made the story around them. So it wasn't like she made the story and then wanted to include them. She already had the pictures. So I thought that was kind of cool. But overall, I didn't really enjoy this book very much, and I gave it 2 stars. So that one was kind of a dud. And then I put Horror Store in here. I don't know if this fully like is super mixed media, but it has like these different catalog pieces. This is like a horror novel with IKEA vibes, but the store is called Orsk. But it has like a layout of the store, and like each chapter there's like a different furniture item that you can buy, and there's like different, I don't know, stuff. Even the author has his own little like store badge going on. So it kind of has that a little bit, and that one I gave 5 stars. So overall, I feel like I have pretty good record with enjoying books that have this kind of element to them. So moving into the books I'm going to be reading for this vlog, I picked up A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and so I'm going to be reading this one. It is a YA mystery, and I feel like everybody that's been reading it lately has really been enjoying it, and they said that there's like, yeah, so this is like an entry into, it says capstone project log, but I think there's like interviews in here, and I don't know, I just was hearing that there's different elements to this story. This is, yeah, an interview here. So there is some mixed media mixed in here. I've heard that the book is really good, but I also have the audio available on Libby, so I have both options, and I heard the audio's really well done as well, so I'm so excited to get into this. I love like a good like whodunit type mystery, and that's exactly what this sounds like, so I can't wait to see more of what this is about. So this next book I've had on my TBR for a little bit, and I don't think I super realized how long it was for a while, and then when I saw that, I was like, maybe, yeah, that one might come eventually. And then Books and Lala, Kayla over there, she actually made this her April Book of the Month pick for the Literally Dead Book Club, and I was like, maybe, and I was looking at it some more, and then this month for her live show hasn't happened yet, so it's happening at some point here in May. And then also for May, the Buzzwordathon word is either house or home, and it works for that. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna pick up this book, and it works in this because it has mixed media and has House of Leaves. Oh my gosh, this book is so heavy. So I think when Kayla was talking about this book, she's like, oh, it looks a little like intimidating, but like, you know, some of the pages don't have a lot of writing or something. And so I'm like, okay, maybe it's not so bad, right? So I pick up this book from the library the other day, and I'm like, holy moly, this book is massive. And I'm like looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like these pages, there's so many words on them. I was like, oh my God, what am I getting myself into? Like this book, I think is like 700 pages or something. Like, yeah, it's up there. What is even happening at the back here? Anyways, but then like I'm flipping through, and it is true, like towards the end, like some of the pages do definitely get a little lighter in activity. So hoping that will help this book not like be the longest book ever. I don't know. I'm feeling intimidated by this book, essentially. And I don't fully understand the synopsis of this book. My intention is when I'm like a quarter of the way or so into these books, I will stop and give you guys a better synopsis of these books, and I'll have a little better idea of what's going on. But there's like this house this family moves into, and from the outside it looks smaller. When you go inside it's like bigger, and then the kids like get lost somewhere in the house and they come back and they're talking about weird things. But then there's also this book where like people are like adding all these entries into or something. I don't know. I really like haunted houses and haunted type places, so I'm hoping that's kind of an element in here, and the mixed media hopefully will make it easier, more enjoyable. Okay, and so that leads into the last book, and that is Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. I think I became interested in this one partially because of my love for Illuminate, and that is a sci-fi that is based around a mixed media element, and then Sleeping Giants I think is also told completely in like interviews and different mixed media and stuff like that, and it's a sci-fi novel, so I was like, maybe some correlation here. I think I heard about this one from Jessie May. I'll put her channel down below. I think that's who originally talked about this that I saw. But yeah, so this is a sci-fi type novel. I think it's an archaeological site. Dig finds this big, huge, like giant metal robot hand or something in the ground, and then things kind of ensue from there, I believe. I don't totally know. We'll find out. So if this is as good as Illuminate, I will be very happy, and it's a lot shorter. So I feel like those 3 books, that gives me a little bit of a variety. I've got a mystery, I've got a horror, and I've got a sci-fi. Sorry about the train. We're all gonna have to get used to the train whistle, because it's just part of life right now. Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and vlog the journey of reading these 3 guys. I'm so excited to do so, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. All right, guys, I come to you with some updates here. Yeah, so I was really debating where I wanted to start with these books. Like, especially this sucker. This sucker is big and fat and meaty, and I was just like, I don't even know. Do I want to start with this so I can just be like, that's done, and these other 2 are just gonna fly by? Or do I want to just get through these shorter ones, and then we can come back and just like finish with this guy, because it's gonna take me a while, and I'll feel good that I at least got 2 of them done, and I won't feel behind on my reading because I'll just have this one book? Or do I want to just slowly work through this while I'm also doing the other ones? Or I don't know. It took me a while to figure it out, but I'm definitely I feel like I was the most excited to kind of get into these 2 books. And then I haven't really been feeling like reading a sci-fi book. And so I wasn't feeling like that one as much. So then that was also in my brain. I'm like, do I just get the one I'm not feeling like reading out of the way? So then I can be excited about my next reads, and maybe that'll make me just go through it really fast so then I can get reading. Or do I start with the one that I'm like really into and want to read? Or I don't know. So anyways, what ended up happening is I had time to listen to an audiobook, but I didn't have a time to sit down and read. And I have audiobooks of these 2 guys, and I've just really, like, this one's been on my mind. I really want to read it, so I decided to start the audiobook yesterday of this. And I got about 25% in, which actually brought me right to part 2. I was like, that's a perfect spot to stop. It's like 100 pages in. It's a great place to stop. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying the storyline. I'm really enjoying the audiobook. Yes, it's like read, so most of the chapter and everything is through Pippa's perspective, but she does a bunch of different like interviews and stuff, and each of the interviews and the dialogue pieces and stuff are actually spoken through other people. So it's got a full cast of people, which is awesome. And I'm really enjoying that, because I feel like I'm like, oh yeah, okay, we're in an interview, and it sounds like an interview, and a recording, because she's recording these, and I'm just really appreciating that, and I really enjoyed it. And I've been kind of trying to follow along a little bit in the book just to like keep up pace in case there's anything that the book would offer more of. So there was one moment where I was like, I feel like there's probably a visual and I need to go look, and there was. Let me see if I can find it. So there is, she draws out this map because she's trying to map out the route of stuff going on. I haven't really given you a synopsis, so that would probably be helpful. But I ended up like trying to listen, and I was trying to like look at the map, and that was the only moment that really like I was like, okay, I really want to like actually see this, but otherwise the audiobook's been great. So I'm kind of, you know, gonna do a mix of audio and physically reading on this one. But to tell you a little bit about what this is about, we basically have Pippa, and she has to do this school project, and she chose to kind of investigate and look into this murder that happened in her town a few years back, and she personally doesn't think that who got blamed for it did it, and she's trying to figure out what happened during the investigation and just see if there's anything else going on that maybe wasn't told to everybody, or she just doesn't feel right about it. And so she starts investigating, and she starts interviewing friends and family and getting some of the police reports, because it's been so long they can release them to the public if they ask for them. And it's just, yeah, it's very interesting. I'm very intrigued. I'm very sucked in. There was one moment in here, oh my gosh, I was like getting really mad at this one detective that she was talking to. Oh my gosh, I wasn't expecting it. But so basically the main person that they said did it is Indian American, but it's still allegedly, because he ended up committing suicide, saying that in a note that he did it. And the officer, so racist. I was like, oh my gosh. But it's such a great like point in this book, and I don't know, I can see that coming up later. It hasn't like come up really since then, but it was like, I don't know, I just was like listening to it, I was just like, what is this person actually saying this? Oh my god, why are people like this? Anyways, okay, so that's my update there. So then today I'm like, okay, I gotta go run and do a couple errands, and I was like, I want to listen to an audiobook, but I don't have time to sit down right now and update this vlog. And I was like, I don't want to continue in this book because I feel like I'm at a perfect spot to just stop and update you guys. And I was like, oh, so do I continue that audiobook, or what am I gonna do? So I decided, why not just start Sleeping Giants? And I think I'm at like 10 or 15% into the audiobook, and so that's almost 50 pages in. So getting a little bit into this book, but loving the audiobook of this one too. Oh my gosh, I was driving home and I was like stuck in traffic because they were doing some construction thing, and I was like, oh, this is so irritating. But my audiobook was so funny. I was like laughing, and I was just like, this is like some good sarcastic humor happening right now, and I was enjoying it. I very much enjoy like a sarcastic humor piece in a book, so love that. So basically, this is following, like, it's very much in like kind of a similar format with the interviewing and stuff. They call them different like file numbers, but a lot of them are interviews with different people. And so we're following like a helicopter pilot, and then the senior scientist on this project they're doing, and like it's a full cast, so each of the characters has their own voice. And then we have this main guy who's doing all the interviews, but he's very like, you don't know anything about this guy. He won't tell people much about him. He's like, oh, you don't need to know that, it's fine. Like I don't know, it's very interesting. So I'm curious about this guy because I know there's something going on there. But basically what this story is about is we have this scientist. Oh gosh, what's her name? Kara? No, that's the pilot. Her name is Dr. Franklin. Yes. And when she's like 7 or 8 or something, she falls in this hole, and she ends up falling into this huge hand. It's like 23 feet long, big old metal mechanical hand. So the military end up taking it over, and she's a kid, and so she like doesn't, you know, think about it too much from there. But when she gets older, she becomes a physicist, and she ends up back being the senior scientist on this project, and they're trying to like investigate this hand, and it's made out of like some crazy materials and all this stuff, and they start finding like more of the body parts throughout the world. And I don't know, I'm like super sucked in and intrigued, and I'm really enjoying the audiobook. So as much as like I was like, oh, I don't know that I'm in the mood for a sci-fi, apparently I was wrong, because I'm very much enjoying that. So yeah, those are my updates. So I have not started this quite yet. So I guess I'm working through these first, is what it's ending up working out as, at least right now. Maybe I will end up trying to track through this a little bit, like a chapter here or there. I'm trying to finish this book on my Kindle right now, and so that's why I haven't really physically read anything yet, because I'm trying to get through that so I can really focus in on these books, and I'm just loving them and enjoying this. This is like, I don't know, I should have even like decided that I needed to look into if I like mixed media books more, because I think I haven't even finished any of these books, but I'm like, yeah, it's a thing, I like it. Anyways, I'm enjoying all my reading right now, and I will update you guys when I have more. Hello again, I'm back to update you guys on how the reading's going. I got pretty far into, well, not like super far, but I feel like I read a good chunk of pages yesterday. So let's start with this one. We've got Sleeping Giants, and I am on page 122. I feel like it's probably almost halfway. I think this is like 300 pages, sorry. Yeah, it's about 300 pages. And I am like so invested in the story. It is so fun and different, and it's got like a little bit of political intrigue, like stuff going on that's like real life, like how would, you know, the president and the NSA kind of handle this, and having to be in different countries to find some of these different pieces. And yeah, so that has been in here a little bit, and I'm finding it like it adds into the story very interestingly, but it's not like taking over, which I like, because sometimes politics just go over my head. So that's been fun, and we're also getting some interesting dynamics between different relationships with people, and you're like, really? And they're finding more pieces of this giant person, I guess. You know, they found the body, and it just, yeah, it's very interesting, and I don't know what else to say, because I don't want to give too much away, but I am entranced. I am intrigued. I'm loving the plot. I'm loving the interviews. I love the audiobook, and just having all the different voices, and the characters are all different and dynamic and interesting, and there's definitely some secrets being kept that I'm so dying to know what is going on. The main guy that like conducts all the interviews, I want to know about him, and you just literally know nothing. He refuses to give you any information about him at all. It's like, so yes, very much enjoying. Also, about halfway into this guy as well. So we are 244 pages in, and this one is 387 pages. So I guess a little bit over halfway, actually. I'm making good progress in this one as well, and I'm really enjoying this one too. I'm loving the mystery element, and just all the collection of all the different clues and information, and you're just trying to puzzle it out, and you're like, how is this all working? And oh my gosh, she has like such a list of suspects right now. Like, it started with 1 or 2 people, and now we have all these different people, and we're like, wait, what? How are all these different people like connecting? It's literally like this, like all the people are just connecting in all these different ways, and you're like, how did the police miss all of that? Like, they just believed randomly that this is who did it, and then they were just done. They're like, well, he killed himself anyways, so why not? Why do we have to pay attention to this? Like, no justice at all that's actually truthful. It just, I don't know. So I'm definitely feeling like we're going to get into more of a climax here soon, because yeah, she just got some pretty juicy information recently, and it pretty much proves some stuff. And I don't know, I don't want to give too much away, but she definitely got some good juicy stuff going on, and I am just eating it up. I am loving it, enjoying it, and I've mostly been listening to this on audio as well, and the audio is wonderful. All, like, the full cast, it's been great. So great. So I think mostly on those two, I'm going to be listening to them on audio for the most part, because I'm really enjoying both the audiobooks quite a bit. And then we have this sucker. I don't have an audiobook for this, so this will be, and this is, you know, these two books combined in pages most likely. What is this one? This one's like 380 and then 300, so that's like 680 pages, and this is, I don't even know if you need all of that part. Let's see. It's in the 600s. So yeah, like 650 or something. So this will be a book that I physically read. I finished up my book I was reading on Kindle last night, and I almost was like, I can probably pick this up and start reading in here, but I just popped my audiobook in. I was like, I don't know, we'll start it tomorrow. So yeah, we're gonna start this, and hoping that it moves. I've heard that it's a little rough in the beginning. I love it. I'm like opening this up and it's all, this is not for you. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I've heard it's a little dense in the beginning, but you kind of have to just like get in it and get it going. I'm just hoping that this does not end up taking me too long and I can't like finish it and get this vlog up. So yeah, we've got, I mean, we've got like 4 days. I think we can finish this in 4 days. And the other 2. I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna try. Okay, I'll be back with more updates soon. Hi guys, I figured I'd take a quick break and update you guys on my reading really fast while I drink my coffee. I'm down to 1 cup a day, so I kind of push it into the afternoon to just get me through that last push for the midday slump, you know. So anyways, I have some bookish updates for you guys. The one that's on top, Sleeping Giants, we'll start there. So, I'm almost done with this one. Oh, getting there. I am on page 229, so I've got like 70 pages left. It's only like 2 hours left of the audio. And so yeah, I am flying through this and really enjoying it. I really like the characters in here. They're very unique, and we have our interview dude, and he's very mysterious and different, and I'm still dying to know what his motives are. But I think this is a really interesting take on like kind of the science community and the exploration of different technology and things, just to see what else is out there and what more we can learn about the world. But then like, when do you kind of cross some ethical boundaries and you should stop and kind of pull back? And I don't know, I think that's kind of an interesting side note. Just realized that this edition that I got is an ARC edition. I never noticed that. I've never read what that said. So yeah, this was definitely sold to me and it wasn't supposed to be. But you know, I don't know. Where did I even get this book? I'm not even sure. Anyways, that's not the point we're trying to make here. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it. The characters are very interesting, and just kind of this, yeah, like, this has a lot of gray area in it, you know, like the idea of there's not black and white decisions, and how far do you push your boundaries? It's very intriguing to me. I'm dying to know where we are going to go with this, and I can see just so many different ways that this could end up going after this book. I don't know. I've heard that the series, the first book's like the best out of the series, but I, at least at this point, feel like I definitely will continue and see how I feel about that. But yeah, very, very intrigued. Next up, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I actually did finish this one. I really enjoyed the mystery aspect to this. I felt like we were just putting all these different clues together. We had all these different suspects, and I did a video a while back, and I did basically pairing board games with books. So if you really like playing this board game, you might like this book, kind of thing. This would work really well for Clue as well. So yeah, it's just got like that big cast of just different characters, and you're just trying to align all the clues and figure out what actually happened. And I enjoyed the like interviews that are kind of woven in, so you're getting the perspectives of everybody. You're not just being told the story. And the audiobook, great for this one too. What else can we say about you? The ending, definitely was not expecting it. I don't know how believable some of it is. So you do have to kind of suspend your belief. I mean, obviously we're following a high school girl who's solving a murder, but I was okay with that, and I had a lot of fun with it. And yeah, I know there's a sequel to this, so I'm actually kind of curious as to where else we're going with the rest of this. It should be interesting. There's a lot of really interesting characters in this book too, and they could really, like, I don't know, pull something out of their hats. But I wonder if we're still I'm guessing we're still following our main chica here. I'm assuming we're still following Pippa throughout all of this. But I really liked Robbie as well. He kind of like came in and was like helping her with the case, and he was the alleged murderer's brother, and so he kind of has a bad rap in general around town because people associate him with that. And he's like, I really don't think my brother did this. And yeah, it was fun. This was a fun one. So overall, I gave this one a 4-star, and then we're almost there with this one. And then we got the big ginormous hunk of a book. Oh my gosh, I don't even know how I'm going to finish this book for this vlog. I have had like no time to physically read lately. It's just, things have been so busy. And so yeah, it says I'm on page 3. So there's a longer prologue. So they have like I don't know, the introduction's probably like 10 pages. So I read that. It's not like super long, but you know, we're going to get into this book soon. I'm hoping tonight I will have some time to actually get at least a little bit of pages into this. But yeah, I really need to start reading it. Otherwise, I'm never going to make it through it for this vlog. Oh my gosh, I need to just do it. Oh man. Oh, just like flipping through it, I'm like, oh, the text is all different. There's pictures in there, and I'm just like, I want to get to that. I need to read this. Anyways, so yeah, I really don't have a ton of thoughts on this yet. The introduction's kind of weird. Like, we're following this guy who, his friend has like this old guy who lives in his housing complex or apartment complex or something, and basically the old guy like ends up passing away, and so he's like, oh, the apartment's available, you can go move in there. And he went in there before like everything was cleared out to see the place, and the guy had just written like a whole bunch of there's just stacks of books and like papers everywhere that he's written all over. And I don't know, it was odd. And then he like took a book with him. I think it's only one book. I don't know, or if he took all of them. Well, maybe I'll have to go back and look at that again. I read it. I didn't read this last night. I read it the night before. But now he's like completely like enveloped in this book, and he's like not doing anything else. He's just sitting there reading this book, and it's like taking over his life. And I think my understanding is this book that the guy wrote is called The Navidson Record, and then this first section of House of Leaves is called the Navidson Record. So I think that's what we're going to be reading, at least to start. And it, like, I guess kind of pulls in some things that are true, but then also completely makes up other things. So he's like sitting there looking things up to see if they actually happened or not. And yeah, it's kind of an odd like start into the story for sure. But I'm curious as to where we're gonna go from here, and we'll see. But so far, Good Girl's Guide to Murder was 4 stars. I really liked it, and I cannot wait to finish Sleeping Giants. I am loving that one as well. And we'll eventually get to this fat tome of a book. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon.
What the fuck? What's going on right now? I just finished Sleeping Giants, and that is just, I'm giving you my live reaction to the end. What the fuck just happened? I don't even know. Like, what? I'm so confused. I don't know. Yeah, okay. I'll be back when I have coherent thoughts and I'm not making dinner.
Okay, guys. I'm here to kind of, sort of shame myself because, it's been a few days. And, not so good. Not so good, guys. I'm on page 38. 39, something like that. Why am I in the middle of a chapter? I thought I finished it. I literally had one more page to finish the chapter. Okay, anyways, so I'm almost 40 pages in here, but you know, we did have that like longer intro. But the reason I said I'm only partially shaming myself for this is because I also had my last unit test for school today, and so I kind of had to get into study mode and just needed that focus time, and I had other things going on. We just had Mother's Day, so, you know, I was trying to balance in some family time, and I just have not had a chance to sit down and read. It has just been really busy, and next week I have my final on Monday, and then I am done. Like, I have one more week, guys. I am almost there. So, as far as this book goes, I know last time I was saying I couldn't remember exactly what they said he took because they talked about a lot of, like, pieces that he had written. Like, he had written all over the place. Like, I think he even said on the walls. Like, the fridge was full of things that were, like, written. And so I was like, was it just one book? So it's a trunk. He brought home, like, a trunk of this guy's writing. And so now we are reading, so this first section of the book is called the Navidson Record. And so that's what I'm reading. And it's basically about, it's like a story. We're talking about a movie. And it's taking us slowly, progressing us through this movie that came out. That was just kind of weird, and it's about this guy and his family move into a house, but the inside of the house is measuring bigger than the outside of the house, and then like weird things all of a sudden will be built into the house, like a little closet or a hallway or something. And there's a lot of like little footnote pieces, and I don't fully read all of them. Like, some of them are just little tidbits, like they look like they're referencing things, like this is like an essay that's critiquing the movie or something, and then they're like referencing little things. But then there's other parts that are almost like little side tangents about the guy that we had in the prologue who is reading all this material, and he will sometimes like start talking about something within that, or he'll start talking about like a story about his life that part reminds him of, or something like that. So I read some of those that are a little bit more anecdotal and a little more story, but I don't read all the references, you know. But yeah, so it is really dense, and it is taking me a while to get through. I think one of the chapters was like 10 pages or something. Let's see, it was this chapter right here. So it went from page 8 to page 18. So yeah, 10 pages, and I think it took me like 20 minutes to get through. So it does really take a while, and I know eventually we're going to get to these pages that just don't have as much writing or some bigger writing, and it's going to start going a little faster, but right now it's taking a little while to get through this book. I also am not really sure, but every time you see the word house anywhere in the writing, it's blue. So that's kind of different. Like house of leaves, like just anytime you see the word house. And then it says like, there's different editions. So we have the full color edition here. It says the word house in blue, Minotaur and all struck passages are in red. Why? I don't know. The only struck line in chapter 21 appears in purple. And then it has like a line of like 6 X's and color plates. I don't know what that means either. There's like different editions. There's a 2-color edition. There's a black and white edition. There's an incomplete edition. I don't really know what that even means. So this book is definitely interesting. I actually was watching Gavin's reading vlog he did when he was reading this. If you guys haven't watched How to Train Your Gavin, he is hilarious and I really enjoy his channel. But yeah, he was saying that it's really like fun once you kind of get into it, but it is really dense in the beginning and it's like very interactive and you're like, some of it's upside down, so you're like moving the book around and you're like doing different things. So I'm really excited to get to that point, but I am not there at the moment. And I'm supposed to actually put this up tomorrow. So I think I should have some time to read tonight since I did just finish my exam. I'm really hoping to get a chunk into this book, but I don't think I'm going to finish it for this vlog. And so you may have to just wait for either my mid-month or my wrap-up to actually get full final thoughts on this, unless like something miraculous happens. Or maybe I'll try and like move some videos around. I don't think I have anything else right now that would be up and ready for tomorrow. I don't know. Anyways, so I'm partially shaming myself because I haven't gotten to this, but at the same time, like, I had to prioritize, so what you gonna do, right? All right, guys. Hoping the lighting isn't too bad here, but I tried so hard to get through as much of this as I possibly could to have some thoughts on it for this vlog. So, right now, I'm on page 107, so I did get a chunk in there, and then also, sometimes like in the footnotes, there was a couple moments where it'd be like, oh, check appendix blah 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 if you want more information here. And so I did that, and one of the appendixes back here was like 60 pages long, so I also read, let me see if I can give you guys a good idea here. So I also read this little chunk of 60 pages. So essentially I'm on almost 170. So I still have 500 more pages. I've still been in kind of the more dense areas. And so, oh gosh, like the next page, we're getting a little more interesting. Typing, I mean, a few pages later, we got some weird boxes, so I'm thinking it's gonna start going faster, but this vlog needs to go up today. So I don't really know how much farther I'm gonna get, but I'm gonna update you right now, and then if I end up having some time at some point today before I have to get this vlog up to read, I will, and I'll give you a last little update. But yeah, I'm guessing that this might be the last of it. So this book, it's like intriguing. There's definitely certain moments when I like really get enveloped in it and I'm like, wait, what is gonna happen? I really like when we're talking about them exploring more in the house and the different stuff, and like I really get sucked into that piece. But then sometimes we get kind of off track and we're talking more about like examining the film, and that sometimes like I'm like, why are we even talking about this? Like there was like 5 pages talking about echoes, and we were talking about like the Greek myths and echo there, and then we were also talking about the physics of echoing, and just like I was like, what is even happening right now? Like, why are we talking about this? And then sometimes, so that's like written through Zampano, who's the old guy that passed away, and he's the one who wrote this whole book basically, and he's talking, he like wrote a book about people writing about a movie, and the movie's about these people exploring this weird house, and I don't know, and then, but then we have Truant, who's John Truant, who is the one who brings home the trunk and he's reading all this stuff, and he will like go on these anecdotal random side tangents talking about his life or what he thinks about this, and so you're kind of flipping back and forth between that. And that kind of reminds me of like the night circus sometimes, because I remember feeling like this in the night circus in the beginning. I was just like, I'm so confused. We keep jumping to these different people, and I would think like, oh, we just have a couple of perspectives, but then we'd all of a sudden have this new perspective, and I'm like, why are we now talking about this other new, I don't know. It was just, you know, it was really odd in the beginning in that book, and I just was confused, and I didn't know why we were following certain people or certain plot lines or whatever. But then in the end, it all came together, and I absolutely adored and loved that book. So I'm hoping that this one ends up that way, but there are definitely moments when I just feel uber confused, and then there's other moments when I feel very intrigued and pulled in, and I just kind of am all over the place with this book. I am really excited to get to the point in this book where like it's more interactive, and I'm like having to move the book around and really get into it, because I find that really interesting when you can make a book have kind of me feel like I'm having an experience reading it. And so, yeah, I'm excited for kind of getting into some of that. There was a little bit in the appendix. I had to kind of flip the book around a couple times to read some of it, and there was a little bit of that. So that is very intriguing to me. I don't know if like everybody goes and actually reads the appendixes in between, or if they just read them all at the end or whatnot when they read this book, but I just was like, I think I'll just read them as they mention them, and then if there's any I haven't read, then I'll just read them at the end, I guess. I guess I gotta try to make sure I keep track of what the heck I've read and what I haven't. So, I don't know. It's interesting and intriguing, but at the same time extremely confusing, and takes quite a while to buckle through, but I'm working on it. Oh my gosh, what is even happening right now? I was like, oh, I'll just sit down and talk while I try and take my hair out. Well, not my literal hair, but you know what I mean. So yeah, I am getting ready to work out this morning and then get on with my day, and just kind of, you know, do some functionable things. I do have that final next week I gotta study for, and I'd rather be reading, so that's a good sign. If I'd rather be reading, then, you know, that's a good sign for the book, maybe not for school, but it's a good sign for the book. When I don't want to pick a book up, that's not promising. Not promising at all. Right. Anyways, I will be back to talk to you guys later. I will let you know if I got any farther in this. Otherwise, we'll wrap everything up and have our last little reflection on mixed media forms of books and what I kind of think. I actually do have more updates on House of Leaves for you guys. But before we get really into that, meet Molly. I decided to kind of try and angle the camera a little more her direction, because she is our shy cat, and you won't see her very often at all. So there's Molly. Also, as I was editing this vlog and really realizing it wasn't going to go up yesterday, so I'm a little late. I'm a day late on this, but it means I got more reading done in the other one. But I also realized I never gave you guys a final update on Sleeping Giants. I was looking for the clip because I could have sworn that I did, but then like maybe I didn't. I don't know. I'm feeling a little bit like I've got some memory loss, so I don't know how that happened. But I finished Sleeping Giants. I had that little reaction clip going on there, so you guys saw that, and you saw how shocked I was by the ending. I still don't know what in the heck happened, so that definitely made me want to pick up the next book in this series for sure. But I enjoy a cliffhanger sometimes like that, where it kind of leaves you wanting more. I'm okay with that, but at the same time, like, the book has to answer at least some questions, and or at least leave me satisfied in some way. And I feel like it kind of did. I guess there's still more questions, but it wrapped up in a way that I really enjoyed. I am very surprised at how much I enjoyed this book, just because I wasn't super in the mood for it at the beginning of this vlog, and I just flew through this and I adored it, and I gave it 5 stars, and it was really fun. And the audiobook was just amazing. I think it really added something to it, but just some of the character connections were really interesting, and the way they acted with each other, and I still want to know more about our mysterious man. I really enjoyed Kara. She was the helicopter pilot, and she just has this really sarcastic attitude, and it makes me laugh, and I enjoy it so much. I love sarcastic characters. They're fun. So she was super fun in here, but yeah, I am intrigued. I am interested. I want to continue in this. I very much enjoyed this story, so that's kind of my wrap up with this guy. That one, again, 5 stars. And then while we're kind of trying to wrap things up here, I'll just briefly talk a little bit more about this one just to conclude. We gave this one a 4-star. Very much enjoyed the whodunit kind of mix mash going on there, trying to figure out who actually murdered Andy. And I really enjoyed this book. So thinking back on it, I don't think I really explained this very well in the vlog, and I think it took me a little while to put this together, and because I was enjoying it so much for the first probably like 3 quarters, and I was like, this is definitely going to be a 5-star read for me. And then the last quarter, I still really enjoyed the ending, but I was just like, but it didn't feel like it kept that 5-star momentum going, and I think that's why it kind of dropped to a 4-star. And I was trying to think of like what exactly it was that kind of triggered that, and I think it was some of the logical pieces, and some of it just, I was questioning how believable it was, and I was like, but really, like, I don't know, there's just a couple things that I just thought were a little too out there and odd, and so then it was pulling me out of the story because I was questioning it, and I think that's why I kind of dropped it to that 4-star. But overall, I still really enjoyed the story, and I do want to read the sequel that came out as well. Okay, so moving into House of Leaves, I actually got through a good chunk yesterday, so you guys can see I am now on page 320, and then I did read that 60 pages in the back, so technically I'm like 380 pages into this big old fatty book. Oh my gosh, look at this. It's just so big. But I hit like some of those pages that really just don't have a lot of writing on them, so I flew through some of those, but some of them still have quite a bit of writing on it, but I definitely was like flipping things around. I stopped flipping to the back for some of the appendixes because there was like one page where it was like, go to these pages and these 2 appendixes, and I was just like, this is too much flipping back and forth. I am confused enough trying to read in these different boxes and side writing things, and like, okay, look at this page. There's like different stuff on the sides. There's boxes with stuff. Some of it's backwards, upside down. There's like pages where you've got like random stuff going on the side, and you're trying to piece together what is happening in those. Like, what are we even talking about? What's it referencing? It's weird and confusing enough just reading it straight through, so I stopped flipping back to the other appendixes. I also don't think I mentioned, but I realized that I'm like a month behind with what I was thinking as far as Books and Lala's like live show. So I'm going to watch the live show after this, but it's already been out. If you guys want to go and watch it, you can. If you've read this or not, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. So how am I feeling about this book? I have so many mixed feelings about this book. I mean, considering I'm now over halfway through this book, I'm mixed between like, sometimes I'm super intrigued and I'm just like running through it and I'm like, wow, I love this. And there's other moments where I'm just like, do I want to DNF this? This is a lot. I'm getting so confused, and I'm just like, oh, but I'm like, I've already made it this far. I got to keep trucking, and I'm just all over the place. But I've made it so far. I'm like, I have to end up finishing this book because this is just too much work to not finish this darn book. And I think, I don't know if maybe part of me is feeling that way a little bit too, because I'm feeling pressured to finish this book. I was trying to finish as much as I could for this blog, but also my library, they said I don't have any renewals on this book, which means that somebody else is wanting to check it out. And so I have to return it in like 5 days or something. So I'm like, okay, I gotta finish it. And then I have my final, I don't know. Anyways, it's a lot. This book is a lot. So I don't know how I'm going to end up feeling about this book. It could be like amazing and fantastic by the end, and I'm just like, what the heck is this ending? Or it could be like, damn, that was a lot of work. Like, why did I even do that? So we'll see. So moving into kind of a final reflection on having mixed media elements within a story and what I think about that and how I like it. So I definitely think I enjoy kind of a interview or podcast thing within a book, and I really enjoy that on audio too. Like, I think that is so much fun and interesting. I love pictures in books. I love I love all the interactive pieces. I was excited when we got into House of Leaves, where I was like turning things around, and I was like, this is like the interactiveness. Very fun. Love that. I get that from Illuminae as well. So I definitely would say probably in a majority of books, this is definitely an element that I'm going to enjoy. I think there was only that one book, Miss Peregrine's, that I was kind of like, this didn't quite work for me, which it's more of a historical fiction, and that's a genre that is kind of hit and miss for me. So yeah, I think this is definitely something that I just need to continue picking up because I definitely really enjoy it. And I think audiobooks for a lot of these are great. I don't know. On that subject though, like audiobooks I think are great if there's like interviews and podcasts, but then there's also like with physical books that have that experience to them, like Illuminae and House of Leaves, you kind of want the physical book to be able to move and manipulate the book and the writing and just have the more experience with it too. So there's that. So anyways, I don't know. We learned a few things. We didn't really learn that many things because I kind of had an idea that I enjoyed and loved this anyways in books. But I hope you guys pick up some of these books because I've had a really fun reading week and I've had a lot of fun talking to you guys. I hope that if you made it this far, you've clicked subscribe because you've had some time. And also, my Goodreads and Instagram are linked below if you guys want to check those out. And I will talk to you guys super soon. Bye!